police might interact today. Do you think they'll leave you alone?
I hope so. They did last time we were here in Birmingham. Yeah, I think they will. We'll see. Fuck you, Boris. Fuck your lockdown.
And why do you come to that conclusion?
Because all the stats are false. Everything's false. It's all a lie.
Hi guys, can you have all the marshals behind the stage please?
Let's hope the police behave themselves today, yeah?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
What do you think about Trafalgar Square? Did you see about the way the police acted?
I was there, mate.
How did you find them, the police, in your opinion?
Well, they're totally different to Black Lives Matter protests, aren't they? Compared to kneeling down to battering us for nothing when we were peaceful. So yeah, unnecessary force, massively.
You're not used to seeing these custodian helmets, is that right, custodian?
Yeah. Where are you from?
Can you tell with the accent?
Not really, no.
Not from Birmingham then?
No, definitely not from Birmingham.
Up north?
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What do they wear then?
They wear similar, but not as often. They're usually the flat caps.
Oh, right, no, we don't get that choice.
Yes. What advice can you give to people actually watching this? Obviously there's a demonstration going on. What advice are you giving to people?
What advice am I giving to people? About what?
Anything. What advice could you give to people?
Anything? It depends on the situation I'm dealing with.
What about today and what's going on, what you observe?
Yeah?
How do you find it?
Fine.
No problems?
I haven't got any problems at all.
Could you let me into a little secret? Have you got any plans later to attack?
Have I got what?
Any plans?
Who would I attack?
You look very young.
I've only work experience back at school on Monday.
Yeah, you're lucky I can't hear you because there's noise in the generators. What advice could you give people today watching this? And you know, if they ever come to an event like this, what advice do you give to people?
In terms of public health advice or
Whatever advice you think is necessary.
it's obviously to try and comply with public health, England and their conditions and guidance.
Have you had any interactions today with any members of the public?
Yeah, well, we've been speaking to members of the protest here, yeah.
And how have you found them?
Fine, perfect. Engaging, happy.
Can I ask you, have you got any plans for after the demonstration
Have I got any plans?
regarding coming in and potentially arresting people? Because usually when this thing happens, the police come in afterwards and arrest people.
Yeah,
Are there any plans?
no plans.
Not that you're aware of.
I'm aware of the whole operation and there's no plans to come in and arrest anyone.
Can I ask the crowd to kindly social distance within your family bubbles? Okay, so if you can adhere to that, guys, you know, and adhere to the risk assessments, you know, it's going to be a cracking day. And I also want to say, people, we're here today for a peaceful gathering, and you know what, we're going to make it a great day, yeah? We're going to make it a great day, because we're here today to fight for our freedom, stand up for our freedoms, yeah? I just want to say one thing, guys. We've got West Midlands Police here today, and here, listen guys, they're here to serve and to protect and uphold the peace, right? So can we give West Midlands Police a round of applause? Thank you, West Midlands Police, for being so cooperative with us today. And you know, we're here to work with you, not against you. And ultimately, guys, you know, these people, the West Midlands or the police force, are the ones who are going to make the arrests and charge and arrest the criminals, the real criminals. Yeah? Not the people, the real criminals. And they're on our side, you know? So guys, just let's cooperate with the police. They're with us. They're here to uphold the peace. And, you know, it's going to be a great day. I just want to make a quick announcement. I just want to say thank you very much to our team in Birmingham. I also want to say thank you to Earl, who's standing here. Round of applause to Earl. Thank you, guys. You know, and we couldn't do it on our own. We could not do this on our own. So, okay, yeah. And like it says at the day, we're all in this together. And you know what? We're going to work it through, and we're going to win this fight. Yeah. A big, massive love and a hug and a kissing for this woman here, Sam. She's an absolute lioness. A lioness, you know? She's a lioness, you know?
Hello, Birmingham! Are you ready to hear some truth today? Are you ready to raise the vibe right up? Because you know what? That's what they don't want. They don't want us to be happy, and they don't want us to be joyful. So do you know what we're going to do today? We're going to be happy and we're going to be joyful in a peaceful kind of way. Look, the sun has come out. God is smiling on all of us. We are on the right side of this. We are on the right side of this. Never forget that for a minute. If you're bullied on Facebook, if your friends keep telling you you're an idiot or you're selfish, you're not selfish. We are not selfish. We are here fighting for our children, for our grandchildren. We are fighting for our freedom. I love you all.
I'm just going to introduce the mic. Yeah, I might have a few words, yeah?
Will this take three of us, this platform, Jazz? Wow! What an amazing sight. Hello, Birmingham! This journey for me started in this very spot back on August the 15th, when we had our first big protest meeting. And wow, what a long way we've come since then. More and more people are waking up to this tyranny that's being forced on us. And the time has come now to say one simple word: no. Guys, it's a privilege to be here with you today. As Jazz and Sam have said, it's going to be peaceful, we're going to have unity, and we're going to have love.
Yes!
Yeah? So let's make this a great day, and if there was a roof up there, let's try and raise it as often as we can, yeah? Freedom!
Just want to say a big, massive thank you to Wayne here. He's done an absolutely amazing job. Another guy who's part of the team, you know, and he's, you know what, he's been a, yeah. So, Wayne, say a few words, Mucker.
I'm going to break the stage now.
Yeah, you definitely
All I want to say is freedom! People, nothing more, nothing less. I'm not here today standing on my own volition. There are people that came before me that gave me my freedom. Now my freedom and all of yours and my loved ones' freedom is at risk. So today we fight back for our freedom! Bless you all. Thank you.
Wayne, I absolutely love you, my man. Love you. Love you. Thank you so much, my brother. Shaquille? Just want to introduce one more person on our team, and it's Shaquille.
Birmingham, how are you? Raise the roof! You know what? I am so impressed. Look at how many have turned up here today. Give yourself a massive, massive shout again. Come on! Look at the love! Look at the unity! Everybody's here! Black people, brown people, white people, all sorts! Rich people, poor people! Everybody's here! Educated people, people with no education. But you know what? People who've had enough of the fucking bullshit! That's who's here today! No more bullshit! No more bullshit! No more bullshit! No more bullshit! We don't, you know what? They can't fool us a second time. I believed the lies when it first happened. Yeah, but you know what? I was in a hospital yesterday for my own appointment. And you know what? I was in a huge waiting room, just two of us. And I'd been there before, it was packed. There wasn't even standing room in the past. The doors are locked off to the other wards. There's security everywhere so that you can't find out the truth. There are ambulances running around with sirens on, with no patients, and they're just doing the rounds. And I watch the ambulances come in. The same ambulances are coming back and forwards. and there's nobody in them. You know what? Wake up, people. Stop believing the bullshit lies. Dump your TV in the bin. And wake up and listen to the doctors and the scientists who are sharing the truth, not the government puppets. Thank you very much, Birmingham. Love you all, and stay peaceful. And a massive shout out to the police who are out here supporting us today. Yes, West Midlands Police. Yes.
Thank you guys, thank you Shaquille. I'll tell you what, it's absolutely wonderful. You know what, we're all talking from the heart, we're all talking our truth. We're here because we want to hear the truth. We're all walking in our truth here today. We're here because we want our freedoms. We want our civil liberties. Yeah? I'm just going to quickly introduce you to Jim, who's going to help me MC during the day. He's a bit more of an expert than I am. You know, so I'm going to hand you the mic over to Jim, and he's going to introduce our first speaker. Give a big round of applause to Jim, please.
Go on, Jim.
Thank you, Birmingham. How are we doing today? Let me hear you make some noise, please. That's not loud enough. Come on, let's hear it. Another one, let's go. Amazing guys and girls. When I look out on the crowd here today, my heart is just overflowing. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I know we've all been on this journey for a long, long time. We're all tired. In some way, we've suffered. We've seen loved ones suffer. We're here to let the people that would control us and would put us down and try to take our futures, and more importantly, our children's futures. We're here to let them know that fear and hatred is their currency, not ours. Our currency is love. It comes from here, and it beats everything. Yeah, it's love that's going to win this for us. So, again, people, I'm so proud to see you all. I can remember when this whole thing started, it was a group of 20 people at most. There are hundreds of us here today, and there are thousands across the country. So give yourselves a massive round of applause for standing up. Well done. Well done. Very briefly, I'm just going to introduce myself real quick. So I'm Jim. I've been part of Stand Up X, if you've heard of them, from the beginning. I've worked with lots of different girls and guys across the country, and just doing what I can behind the scenes, like each and every one of you, standing up for what we know is right and what is true. That's another reason why we're going to win. We're on the right side of this, guys, so that's who I am, that's what I do. I'll leave it there, that's all you need to know about me. I'm the short, bald one, you can't miss me.
Thanks to Earl for organising this. We're one of the organisers.
No organisers.
Okay. Thanks to someone for organising this. Thanks to the marshals, I really appreciate that, and the policemen who are here to support the people today. Some of you may know me from Ninja Warrior, but more recently I did a protest around London, which I might be more recognisable for. I wore my mask where it should be worn. Or not shouldn't be worn at all, really. For me, the mask rule was just a step too far. A step too far from truth, from nature, a step too far from God. When you go into a restaurant and they try and make you wear a mask to go from the door to sit down, I saw a meme online that said that is like having a pissing section in a swimming pool. And that is exactly what it is like. It's completely idiotic. And when you abide by stupid rules, it's a slippery slope at that point. When we start allowing these rules to come into play that make no sense whatsoever, it's a slippery slope to worse times. If this is the health crisis that they say it is, if there are people who are at more risk than other people because they've got health issues, then the government's advice should be, let's make the nation more healthy. Not lock us in a room, lock us in a square space, don't see your family, cover your breathing apparatus, which is your most important nutrition comes through your mouth, and lock down the gyms. What we should be doing is encouraging everyone. We need to improve our health. We need some self-reflection. We need to let go of some habits, some addictions in our life that are holding our health back. We need to grow. Maybe give us half-price fruits and vegetables, not half-price fast food. Half-price gym memberships. Maybe some half-price running shoes for people who can't afford new running shoes. That is what we do in a health crisis, not what we've been told to do here. Sickness is much simpler than they're trying to make out. It's not just a bad look. You happen to walk past someone in the supermarket and now you're sick. That is a lie they're trying to feed to you. Sickness is your soul communicating with you through your body to say, there's something I'm doing in my daily life that is not right, that is not alignment with harmony, with love, with myself. Sickness is the soul communicating through your body to tell you that you need to change, that you need to grow, that we all need to grow. That is where sickness comes from. That is where we've been misguided. The government, okay. What this comes down to, there is a war going on, we're aware of the war, it wasn't announced, World War III wasn't announced as it started, but there is a war for our souls. This is a soul war that we're all a part of, that they are playing us like pawns to be part of their soul war. If you've read The Art of War, you know there are two strong ways to help win the war. One is distraction. As far as I see, this whole thing is a big distraction from stuff that is really going on. It may be 5G, it may be other stuff, but we're being distracted. BLM is another part of that. Big distractions going on while they're trying to play the vaccines, whatever rules they're putting into place, we're being distracted. Know that we're being distracted. Other way to win the war is if you know your enemy and they don't know you. Now they have got so much data on us with all the social media, then it goes into track and trace. They've got so much data on us, they know us so well. They know us better than we know ourselves, quite frankly, and we don't know them, or do we? We know who we're fed, we know Hancock and Boris, that we see these buffoons, they give us these puppets on the surface. Who's really behind there? We've got to know our enemy. I know I see Epstein, the guy who hung himself apparently, who he's friends with, Bill Clinton, going on 26 flights with this known child sex trafficker. The former president of America is flying with this dude. Bill Gates is flying with this dude. You've got Ehud Barak, the former Prime Minister of Israel, sneaking into this guy's New York mansion, into this child sex trafficker's New York mansion, sneaking in with a scarf around his face. The former Prime Minister of Israel. Why is this not ridiculous that this is the world we live in? Then why not bring it to the UK? We've got Prince Andrew, the guest of honour, our own royal family, a guest of honour at Epstein's coming out party when he came out from prison. This is absolutely ridiculous. Then you've got our own, in Parliament, Ted Heath, who's dead now. You've got Jimmy Savile. These guys are friends. He was the advisor to Princess Diana and Prince Charles. He was the marriage advisor. Jimmy Savile is was in with these people, with Parliament. So we know there are paedophiles have been in Parliament. That is still happening now, whether we know it now or not. We know from the past that has happened. That is happening now. And so when people in power that I don't trust, that don't know me, that don't understand health, ask me to cover my face, I say, no thank you, I'm not covering my mouth for you. You don't know health, you don't know me. You're protecting paedophiles, I'm not listening to you. God gave me everything I need to traverse. He made laws. When you come into this universe, God's laws are in play. We all know them, they're written in our heart, in our conscience. They exist, you can tap into them. A lot of us have been misled, misguided, but they are there. We don't need their laws, their rules, their godless, lawless ways to teach us how to live and be nice and healthy and good humans and look after each other. It's absolutely, it's ridiculous. What we need to do, there is a solution, this is part of the solution, and I really applaud you all for coming here and standing up. You're all passionate, you're all thinking with your soul, because they're trying to disconnect us from our soul, they're trying to fragment and fracture our soul. And we can't let that happen. We must all self-reflect. We must all continue to grow. We want our friends and family to wake up. All of us want that, right? We're sick of our friends and family not realising and recognising. Their soul has been beaten down more than ours. We're still here fighting. We can help them, but what we have to do is we have to continue to grow. We can't just be frustrated at them and everyone else and the police and people that don't see it. We have to be the leading example, and we have to continue to grow ourselves. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop with just making them catch up to us. We keep growing. So we have to recognise what is the matrix, the fake matrix, and what is the real matrix, what God made, what is natural, and start to lean more towards nature and rely on nature. Stop supporting the capitalist shops, the big supermarkets, the big high street shops, buying all our clothes and our food from these corporate places. As long as we lean on the matrix has a right to do this to us in a way, because we're reliant on them. We need to stop our reliance on them. We have to grow. We have to give up a little bit of convenience for the sake of returning to nature. It's important that we do this. It's important that we eat whole fruits and vegetables. One of the simplest things you can do is find your most local farm shop. Find a farm shop and go and support that farm shop. Buy your produce from the farmer, not from the supermarkets. This is how we start to change this. Go for walks. Go for walks in nature. Go with your friends and family. Go on your own. When you're there, talk to nature, talk to God. He's there, listening, waiting for us. We must step away from the matrix.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Namaste. Thank you. Praise upon you. Praise upon you all.
We've seen an attack upon humanity. As far as I'm concerned, the human race has been attacked by some people in some serious power who seem like they're causing a disturbance around the whole world. Yes. Yeah. And for we as Rastafari, we say this is nothing new. And you know why I say nothing new? Was here the last time I was telling people, go and do the research. We know in South Africa, in the 70s, they used to poison the water pipe. And when the black people and the Africans drank from it, they got sick and started dying. When the white people had drunk from it or the colored, no problem. So as far as we're concerned as Rastafari, biological warfare has been going on a long time. Biological warfare in all forms. Last year we had nappy chaps from the Russians. We don't even know where it come from. We've had SARS, we've had H1N1, all kind of something. What I can say to you, and what I will say, there is something out there that is hurting people. I don't know if this to call it COVID or whatever, but there is something out there hurting people and killing people. Trust me. Now some of you might think the COVID thing is a fraud. There's a lot of things that is going on, and we have to be very careful when we come to discern the truth. Right? I've done my own research, and we do know that this COVID thing or something like it, we know that China has made it, France has made it, and so has America, and it's been patented. Why they've done that and made that, only human beings with wise mind can tell that they've made this to kind of destroy or hurt people. We've also heard of Mr. Gates and his depopulation control. The man is a Microsoft computer man. What does he know? But we do know. Yes. We do know that he comes from a family of eugenics. Yes. And eugenics is about control of race. Hitler did do this already, you know. Alright? So you try to tell me now that Bill Gates is emulating Adolf Hitler. We don't respect that at all. We say fire burn. Fire burn. And when I say fire, I don't mean take up no petrol bomb, you know. We're talking spiritual fire that is within each and every one. Because Rastafari, we say the elements are within us. The breath, the water, the fire, the air. It is inside each and every one of us as a human being. We must recognize that, acknowledge that. And you know, a Rastaman stay, we always say peace and love to all, death to any oppressor. That means, yes. That means if you're a black man and you're oppressing another black man, we don't respect that. The world is big enough for everybody. We've been crammed into cities. When you drive on the motorway, you see much greenland out there. I'm thinking, why they don't build housing projects out there? Right? Because half of the farms ain't growing nothing again. So if the farms ain't growing nothing and them say there's a housing problem, oh, come on, man. Somebody's trying to play with your heads. And we don't respect that. I don't respect that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the other day we go out and we drop off about 2,000 leaflets pushing through the door. I've been trying to do my part. I've been trying to do my part. Because it's not about I, it's about we, the collective as humanity. That's what it is, you know. I'm just a voice. Because I work with a lot of people, as I said, in our farm. For 30 years I've been a Rastafari chaplain. I've dealt with death. I dealt with mental health, I dealt with people that all kind of thing, and trust me, when I go in a Queen Elizabeth 2 years ago, there was a soldier who come from the war, right, up in Iran, and he never had no foot, and he said to me, I had the other foot, and it was hurting him, and me and him sit down, and the man come from Ireland, and the point I'm trying to make to you is, I went in there as a Rasta chaplain for Rastafarians, but people flock and come and say, I want you to come to me, and I went and spoke with the soldier, and I learned so much. And we know, and I know, we don't respect war, you know, as Rasta. War is not the answer. Love is the answer. Jano, I'm not just saying this to appease anybody. You know me. Who know me knows me right. Me not frightened. Years ago in the 80s when we had the Android riots disturbances, all who remember 1981? You remember when Prince Charles come to Birmingham? And me bring him here. I threatened to burn down Buckingham Palace because when I saw, oh yeah, so I'm not afraid to speak. They thought I was a madman. Them sent NI5 to come and check me out. And when him checked me out, them realized this is just a Rasta man who wants to do photography. They gave me the money and we start Prince's Trust in Birmingham. So have no fear. It is about truth and rights. You understand? And it's just like we said, give support for the policeman them is here, because I respect good police. But you see, if it's a policeman and you're corrupted and you're wicked, you need to leave the force.
Yes.
Rastafari know.
Yes.
Because there's good policemen. I this last show we say no man or woman is above the law. Nobody. So we respect law. The only law I break from time to time, I might smoke a bit of cannabis, but apart from that, we don't break no law, we respect the law. You understand what I'm saying? And what I'm trying to say to one, please have no fear.
Hello everyone. I'm not really supposed to be here because this is my Sabbath. But I want to speak to you about something that's not really often talked about, and it's the spiritual aspect of all this. So this all goes back to the Old Testament, and this isn't going to be all religious or anything, right? Because religion is essentially something to hide the truth, okay? And it doesn't matter if you don't believe in the Most High, because our enemy absolutely does. That's why they have their Bohemian Grove rituals and their eyes wide shut parties, because they absolutely know that the Most High exists and the other fellas exist, because that's who they worship. There's a verse in Genesis that's often missed because it's one verse. And it basically tells of how angels came down and had sex with women and produced another bloodline, another seed line in this earth, right? And that is why the Most High had to create a flood. He wasn't a genocidal maniac like the Dawkins of this world would say. He wanted to preserve mankind from this corruption. And it's this corruption that we're seeing in the world today, because that bloodline is the same bloodline that's in charge of the world today. And that bloodline hates us. It despises us. And it doesn't matter if you look like them, right? They hate you just as much as they hate everyone else.
Amazing to see so many people here today. Bless you, and the weather is with us, which is brilliant. Some of you may know that I've been talking about Agenda 21 2030 for well over 10 years now, trying to raise awareness about it, and it largely fell on deaf ears. I've been around the country raising awareness of this global governance agenda, which is the culmination of what we're living with right this moment, only it's been ramped up with COVID-19. Now, it all started really many, many years ago. The beginnings of Agenda 21, the Club of Rome reports that were the bones of Agenda 21, really have been manifesting for the last 50 years or more. And it has its origins in the technocracy movement of the 1930s, which equally, the technocracy movement of the 1930s had its origins in eugenics. Now, we've been talking a lot about eugenics today from the other speakers, and unfortunately this is what we're facing. And I don't want to scare people, because I believe we can win this. We have to win it, because literally humanity depends on us winning this. We are on a knife edge at the moment. Humanity is on a razor's edge. We either go and lose humanity to the AI, robotic agenda, or we fight for humanity. And fight we have to, and we have to do it now.
Well, hello. Thanks to everyone for tuning out today. The best use of your time. It is no exaggeration to say that we are now standing at the most pivotal point in human history. And our generation is the one that bears the responsibility for determining where things go from here. There are two timelines waiting to play out. Down one lies an absolute dystopian nightmare of the type you've seen in movies for decades, where all our rights and freedoms are taken away and tyranny runs rampant. All justified by a virus that probably doesn't even exist. Down the other timeline lies freedom, truth, justice, and love. And in the same way that there's two timelines, there's only two teams here. There's only two sides to be on. And the time has come for everyone to choose a side. One side is collaborating with evil and tyranny. And sorry to say, all those people that are obeying immoral government dictates, that are putting a mask on when they're told to, that are shutting down their businesses when they're told to, that are preventing people coming into their homes when they're told to, are complying with this slavery. There's no virtue in that. And sorry to say, all the police officers that are enforcing all these draconian rules are also siding with evil, because without their complicity, without their cooperation, none of this could get put into physical manifestation. There are two sides. Everyone has to pick a side, and it will be remembered which side everyone chose when all this is over.
You know what, I'm just looking out on this crowd here today. You know, I'm a first generation Sikh Punjabi Englishman, yeah? And I look across that crowd here and I see blacks, whites, Indians, rich, poor, yeah? This is not about status. This is not about what you've got, your houses, your big cars. You know, it's not about your image on Facebook or Instagram. This is about our freedoms. Freedoms! Yeah?
Birmingham, are you ready to sing with me? This is my lockdown song. Do you want to break free today? I want to see you all clapping your hands in the air. Come on. Come on, Birmingham! I want to break free. I want to break free. I want to break free from the life you come down the line. I don't need you. I want to break free. Come on. God knows I want to break free. I've fallen in love. But life life still goes on. I can't get used to thinking about you without you. I don't wanna be alone. Yes, love, got to make it on my own. But baby, can't you see? God knows I want to. God knows I want to. God knows I want to. Join with me.
It's going fantastic, guys. If you've seen the crowd here to see live feeds at Birmingham, this is amazing. It's the biggest event so far up north, and it's so proud. I'm so proud to be part of it. You can see the crowds around. I'm sure Mark Bannerman's put his stuff out, and it's amazing feeling here, guys. Police have been amazing, crowd have been amazing, and the singing karaoke's been amazing. We had a little bit of a speed bump with the sound, but it's been what it is. Sorry, guys. Hang on, say that off. So, at the moment we've just gone through the landscape of what the. It's going to be hard to hear, is it? Can you hear? Yeah. So we've had the speakers come on. They've laid the landscape for the terrain, things from Agenda 21 to 2030, about the vaccines in Birmingham. The trials going from 65-year-olds up to 80-year-olds and above, 50-year-olds with previous health conditions, and then the BAME group, that racist label. Black, Asian, minority ethnics. Doesn't even make sense. If you're going to make sense with a word, it'd be black, Asian, ethnic minority, but they switched it round. Sounds just like the word blame. And they're going to go for the 18-year-old black and Asian communities and up. 18-year-olds, guys. If that is not eugenics in its play, in its making, then I don't know what you believe, guys, is eugenics, because that is eugenics. And it's being done to separate and divide people. And it's not happening. This is the front line. Birmingham is the front line. It's in a war, guys, between light and dark. And if you don't understand light and dark, if you're not religious, you're atheist, or you just don't really care. The fact is, other people do believe it. If you go to a church and you try and ask a priest not to believe in God, he believes in God, he or she believes in God. A Satanist, a Luciferian, someone in the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, they worship the dark just like a priest worships the light. And just because you don't believe it, they do. And they practice things and they do rituals, etc., to empower their belief and empower their honor to that stuff. And it's no different to someone like us praying in a religious church. We do that to empower our connection to our greater communication to our God, our Creator. So in a minute, there's going to be some stuff, and it's going to be in your face stuff, and it's going to be undoubtable. You're going to see stuff that is going to blow your mind, and it's going to wake you up to the war that you've always been in. You just haven't recognized it. This terrain is going to drop, and you're going to see your enemies around, guys. Stay posted, keep watching, and stay on the live feeds, because this is going to blow your mind. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to get back. Peace out, guys. Love you, brothers and sisters. Fight the good fight, because we've already won this. We have already won. Peace out.
Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 90. We are the 90. We are the 99%. Did you hear that, boys?
The weather's amazing. It's been lashing it down all the way down from the northeast, but when we get to Birmingham, the sun is out and it's shining on the righteous.
Why do you think it's hard for people to see through the lies?
I think there's been an awful lot of years of programming, and that's obvious even through social media. It's horrendous for it.
The government are acting like despotic, tyrannical dictators, and they're locking us down again. I think come Monday, we're in October the 31st, Halloween, a favoured number for the dark occultists, and they've announced this on that date. I knew something was coming. And lo and behold, we're here, yeah.
If you look around today, you've got a mixed sort of group of middle-aged people, where if you look at the youngsters of today kind of thing that are all programmed through their mobile phones, they're not here. they're happy with their mobile phones and the entertainment they've got on their little 7-inch screen. So that's just proof that, they have been brainwashed, dulled down, and now people haven't got any sort of morals. They just live life through social media.
Well, I think the whole world knows that we're all being lied to. It really is about time. Anybody watching, anyone who knows what's going on, if you're not speaking up and you're not sharing things on social media and you're not making your voices heard, then you're part of the problem.
We need now to get out on the streets. We need to oppose this tyranny. We're in desperate days, and for me, these are as serious as if I was in Nazi Germany in 1933.
We can change the world and we can do it overnight, but we need your help. COVID-19 is the biggest fraud in human history. The deaths are being exaggerated. The PCR testing is testing for dormant genetic material in the body known as exosomes. They're inflating the numbers to give the illusion of a pandemic. The seasonal flu is gone, and they're using it as an excuse to bring in these draconian laws. They've cut down the food supply. There's people going starving in less economically developed countries. They're using Australia as the test hub to see how strict they can be, but that's what they want to roll out across the whole world. And it's about changing the whole world into a one world government, a total dictatorship where the people are subservient to the people at the top. But what you're experiencing around the world, like here and all around the world basically, is that the people are fighting back, and if anything, the COVID-19 lie has triggered the Great Awakening.
We're the 99%. How many of us are awake? Who can say? Maybe 4, 5, 6%? I don't know. But we need to be committed and just out on the streets, making people know what's going on.
The police need to realise that they're not above the law. They're part of this as well. They're just a number on a sheet.
People are being lied to. Media are censoring everything. They're totally biased. There's just so much corruption going on, and we're sick of lockdowns because it's actually ruining people's lives and people's businesses, and they won't take any advice from anybody else except they're two witless scientists.
There's always viruses knocking around the block. There's colds, flus. If there's anything, it's a coronavirus, but it's not a killer pandemic. It never has been. They fiddle the figures. It's a criminal intent by our government. The more you look at it, the more you think on it, they want this. They don't want anything contrary to what they're doing. And it's deliberate, it's planned, it's a manufactured crisis.
My daughter was actually injured by the HPV vaccine back in when she was 14. So we've been denied. She was bedridden for a while. It took us 5 years to get her back to where she is now. I don't want mandatory vaccines. I don't want that they'll jail me before I have a COVID vaccine. It's untested. Yes, it's untested. I don't want it, and my kids are not having it.
Please fight back, people of the world. We're so close to winning and exposing the lies.
And people that are scared and want to be locked down, that's fine. If they want a shield, let everybody else do what they want.
I think it's not just the Prime Minister. I think it's the whole of Westminster. It just needs an overhaul. It's not all about, they're the boys' club. They look after their own, and they really don't care about us. We're like the fodder.
You never get herd immunity from a vaccine.
These 3 young soldiers put grown men to shame. Yeah? We need real men. We need real men. We need real men to fight this tyranny. Yeah? And these guys are going to set the example. Yeah? So I'm just going to introduce you to... There's 2 twins, there's the twin and a big brother. So I'm going to introduce you to the first little soldier.
I think Archie wants to say the first word, so I can pass it on to Archie now, please.
Okay, no problem, thank you. And this is Archie, little soldier from Oxford. Big shout for Archie! Archie, it's all yours, mate.
Thank you. Hello, Birmingham!
Okay, they want to introduce themselves first before they give their speeches. And here you go, the microphone's all yours.
Hi, my name is Oliver!
still need to go one step back, please, for health and safety, yeah? Please. Yeah, start from the back and just one step back. You know, the police have been absolutely wonderful today. Can we just give the police another round of applause, guys? They've been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, just let's cooperate with them. So, here we go.
So, I'd like to read, we're going to read you a poem.
Nice. Good lad. Good, son.
We will beat them in our supermarkets, we will beat them in our parks, we will beat them in our schools by taking off the mask.
What a geezer, what a fella, what a soldier! Right, who we got next? Who?
No more fear or friction, only facts to create diction, corruption, lies and phony tests, the BBC propaganda at its best. The year 2020, opportunities are plenty, good versus evil, politics versus people. Stand up, every woman, man and child, the truth is out. We will win this by a mile!
These are poets in the making, soldiers in the making. You know, guys, you know, this is how we need to bring our kids up. Self-respect, morals, values and integrity. The foundation of humanity. You know, our children are lost, guys. We need to wake them up and we need to... These are true human beings. You know, this is how children should be. You know, honesty and integrity. Can we, guys, have a massive, massive round of applause for these guys again?
Come on.
You've got the words to change a nation, but you're biting your tongue. You spent a lifetime stuck in silence, afraid you'll say something wrong. If no one ever hears it, how we gonna learn your song? So come on, come on, come on, come on. You've got a heart as loud as lions, so why let your voice be tame? Maybe we're a little different, there's no need to be ashamed. You've got the light to fight the shadow, so stop hiding it away. Come on, come on. We wanna sing, we wanna shout, we wanna scream till the words cry out. So put it in all of the papers, we're not afraid. They can read all about it, read all about it. Oh, 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 oh.
this is Dad. This is Dad. He's going to say a few words.
Thank you. Keep it short. My wife is there. She's always crying, yeah? There's always a big rock hiding away. She's a rock of the family, yeah? But I don't mind standing up here with all you guys, yeah? Thanks so much, people. You know, when we started out at Hyde Park, 200 people. We went down to Brighton, 200 people shouting at us, shouting at us, shouting at us. We don't care, right? We are shoulder to shoulder. We met this man in Oxford, shoulder to shoulder. Love. They cut me off. No. It's love, yeah? And that's where we connect. And that's where we all connect. And they cannot beat this. Love, okay? Now, I tell you what, I am so excited because we've got so many challenges. We've got so many people dying and suffering, and it's all hurting, yeah? But we're going to use that pain. We're going to use that pain as power. And I tell you what, we're on the cusp. We are on the cusp of changing. And I don't even know what's going to come, but I know it's better than what we can ever imagine. We need to open up our minds. Open up our minds and do not be afraid. We are standing on the front line, people, shoulder to shoulder, and we will not move. We will not comply. We do not consent.
Thank you, we love you. Thank you very much. My name is Jeff Wyatt from Milton Keynes. Fantastic to see so many people out in Birmingham again. Last time I hear was a big turnout, and this is bigger, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger because more people are waking up to this tyranny. Lord Jonathan Sumption, that is a special man. This week, he spoke at the Cambridge Law Faculty for a 45-minute speech where he laid into this government. He told of what is happening. He called out the lies that is going on at Whitehall. This man is an important man. He's a recently retired Supreme Court judge. That means he knows stuff. What he has to say counts. And this week I urge all of you to watch the speech from the Cambridge Law Faculty, where he was invited to speak on the Freshfield speech this year. Awesome stuff. Jonathan Sumption, we need you here with the people. You are the people. Lord Jonathan Sumption also spoke the day after I was arrested. I was arrested with 18 other people on May the 16th outside Speaker's Corner. My crime on May the 16th was holding up a placard very similar to this. My crime on May the 16th was to call out, the audacity I had was to call out this government for the unnecessary lockdowns. And for my trouble, I was confronted by 150 counter-terrorism officers, and one of them decided to arrest me, cuff me, and lock me up for 6 hours. That, ladies and gentlemen, is tyranny. That is what fascism looks like. Do you agree with me? The day after I was arrested, the day after I had 6 hours of my life taken away from me, Lord Jonathan Sumption went on to national media and he gave us sympathy. And since then, he has gone public more and more with the sympathy to people like yourselves. He knows what is going on. He knows the tyranny that we're all facing. We all know this, but unfortunately the psychological operations against the people of this country is so intense, emanating out of the Behavioural Insights team at 4 Matthew Parker Street in London, emanating out of the mouth of that liar, Boris Johnson. He knows what the truth is. He knows that 99.97% of people that contract so-called CV-19 are not dying. He knows this, but he is still driving the country into economic chaos. He is still driving the country into social deprivation. And I hear the genocidal maniac, because let's face it, that's what he is. People are dying. We know people are dying. I know somebody that has committed suicide because of the lockdown. That is real. More people are dying because of the consequence of this unnecessary lockdown, and I hear the liar is going to put the whole country down into lockdown next week. So ladies and gentlemen, what do we think to that? We need to stand up against this tyranny because we are the force. We are sovereign. We have the benefit in this country of living under common law. We have the benefit of this country of having the 25 barons in 1215 writing and acknowledging about our freedoms in 1215 under Magna Carta. We live in common law.
Good afternoon, people of Birmingham and beyond. How are you all feeling? Anyway, I'd like to open your hearts, your minds and your ears just for a second. I'm going to speak about a subject very quickly, and he's going to simplify it to light and dark. So I don't know if you're religious or not, and it doesn't really matter. If I refer to the word light, you can refer that to the Creator, to God, to whatever that means to you, or even if you're atheist or not. If you to walk into a church and you go and speak to a priest and tell the priest that God doesn't exist, you're going to have a hard job. If you need to find anything else about me, you can look on YouTube and you can find my name Earl Jesse and put the word abuse next to it. YouTube, Earl Jesse Abuse, and you'll find some more about me on there. But anyway, I'm going to pass you over now to Kerry. Big round of applause, please.
Hello everyone, my name's Kerry Robinson, and I need to start speaking my truth. My story is outlandish, but this is me speaking from my heart. And I hope today that me sharing my experience will inspire other people to come forward with their similar stories. So, when I was 17, I was drugged and raped by a man I now realise to be a ritualistic Satanist. I am now 24, and I named and shamed my perpetrator on Facebook, and after which I started being gang stalked. To define this term, it's when a group of individuals relentlessly invade all areas of someone's life in order to instill them with fear and drive the victim to suicide, incarceration or institutionalization. So, they started following me to and from university in Brighton. I had the delight of finding feces dropped off at my doorstep. 2 of my friends got held by knife point. They spread slander about me and my family. The night after I was attacked, my father lost his job. They accessed all my social media accounts and all my devices. I rang the police to report the stalking. Their only response was to ask me if I had mental health problems. I rang the police to say this is very likely linked to the rape I have just spoken about. They said they would come round and see me. They never materialised. It gets worse. So, thank you. On one night, my drink was spiked in my house. I remember trying to escape this situation and waking up in a vehicle. A man threatened me and honestly said to me, "Your life is going to be a loop and welcome to the government, baby." Next thing I remember is lying flat on my stomach and I'm paralysed and surrounded by a group of nefarious people. This happened on a night of a full moon and on a satanic celebration day of blood and sex abduction sacrifice. This all happened a week before news of the COVID pandemic. I believe that I was attacked physically and in the spiritual realm with ritualistic practices. I have memories of being taken underground and being in dark rooms and my toes being next to burning candles. I now have deep scars all down my back, which I definitely believe were part of a ritualistic act. Iconically, the night before this happened, I had a dream of my back being scratched up by black cats. And this is what it looks like now.
Get your cameras out, guys. This is the reality, guys.
continues. So they put me on fentanyl in this hospital for 3 to 4 days until they finally allowed me to be conscious. I woke up to an absolute horror ward. I was deliberately being maltreated here. Members of staff were most definitely threatened or bribed to make my time there as uncomfortable as possible. My medical notes are completely fraudulent. They say that I was trying to commit suicide. This was not the case. And believe it or not, on one occasion, the man that threatened me in this vehicle and my rapist and my rapist's father, who I'd recognised from photos I'd seen on Facebook, they all entered the ward, and they, obviously as an act to intimidate me and humiliate me and show me that I was powerless during the situation. My phone also went missing, and when I was in hospital, I was isolated as the staff often didn't send me messages that my parents were contacting me. I was kept here for weeks and weeks until they finally got what they wanted. They institutionalised me. When I was finally returned back to Cambridge, gang stalking continued. I tried again with the police. They were rude with me again, so I gave up. So yeah, I have strong reasons to believe my rapist and the other attackers are high-ranking members of a secret society cult, and they have gone through extraordinary lengths to silence me and discredit me. However, I am not frightened of these people anymore. I am a child of God now, and during all of this, I have found my faith and strength. God has graced me with multiple signs that I must no longer remain silent. In fact, miraculously, on my birthday, I was sent a Bible extract to read. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 10 to 20, which was about putting on God's full armour to be a spiritual warrior. And it was about speaking fearlessly as I ought to speak. And this was the date of my birthday, 6th of October 2020, which was the extract of the Bible. So it really spoke to me. I have seen thousands of testimonies of people who have had similar supernatural, satanistic abduction experiences by demonized people, and they have also found relief through their faith and through Jesus Christ. Guys, satanic ritual abuse and occult practices aren't fantasy tales. They aren't just in films. They are very real. They happen all the time. They can happen to anyone like me. I am lucky to stand here today and be able to use my voice. There are hundreds of people, children, kept underground in captivity, and these people are voiceless. Speak to me later and I'll let you know his name. Okay. So yeah, my experience of spiritual warfare is a microcosm of the macrocosm of spiritual warfare we are all experiencing more than ever right now. From God's word, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts in heavenly places. It is time to face up to these realities. It is time to shine our light in dark places. It is time to unify, love and pray for one another. Thank you. I am a happy, healthy, normal young woman. I'm extremely resilient, and I am most definitely not psychotic or suicidal. I hope to turn these unjust and immoral acts on their head and defeat them by positivity for myself and for others. Shout out to Samantha Browns at Diamond Dew Projects. She's a woman I have just been in contact with who has also been through satanic ritual abuse and human trafficking. If there are any survivors out there that need support, please reach out to one of us. If there is anyone that believes they can help me in any way spread my truth and get justice over these Satanists, please reach out to me. I have just released a full testimony video on BitChute. You can find it at Robin Reborn. I have given it this name because my surname is Robinson and I now feel reborn. Thankfully, this is the time where people are really starting to speak out. So God bless you all, truth warriors, love and light!
Ladies and gentlemen, now you understand why I asked you to give it up for Kerry. So this is not only to help Kerry spread her testimony, but it's also to make you guys and girls realise that a lot of stuff that we investigate is hard to quantify whether it's real or not. But so you know, it's very real. It's very real, and they're after your kids, and that's one of the massive reasons why we're here. Because they ain't having them. They got to come through us to get them. It's never going to happen. Never. It will protect our children to our last breath. Carpenter, make some fucking noise! That's what I want to hear! Come on! You are all amazing, beautiful people, and you all know what's going on in this world. It is so refreshing to be stood with like-minded people. Look around. Do we see any COVID? Exactly. The whole thing is a hoax. It's so glad to know these people are here, and you're all standing for truth, and you're all standing for freedom, and you're all standing for justice. You guys are a change, truth. You are the resistance! My name's Sean Argyle. I'm an investigative journalist. I basically study corruption, so I specialise in looking at it on an international level. And what you need to realise, people, there are basically people who are above the government, they're above the law, they're above the politics, and they're above the people, okay? These are the 13 bloodline Illuminati families that run the world. This is not a conspiracy theory. They will label it as that because it's the only tool they have. That and fake news. That's why you see all the sheep walking around. As soon as they hear the word conspiracy theory, they turn it off. At least you guys are awake, so give yourself a round of applause. Don't ever let anyone call you crazy. Don't let anyone call you a tinfoil hat head. And if they do, wear your tinfoil hat with pride. They're the ones who are asleep, they're the ones who are stuck in the matrix, they're the ones who took the blue pill. At least you guys took the fucking red pill. Just want to touch on what Earl said about light and darkness. This is very real. These people who control the world, secret societies, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Merovingian, they believe in Satan and they believe in Lucifer, and they have given you this materialistic lifestyle you accept as reality. The Matrix is an illusion. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth, and they hope that you never wake up, and they hope that you never see the reality for what it is. And we have a moment right now around the whole world to change what is happening. If anything, the coronavirus BS has triggered the Great Awakening. This is what we're experiencing all over the world now, a Great Awakening, the mass gathering of thousands, if not millions of people to fight back against tyranny and fight for freedom. We must fight for the children. This war goes back to the beginning of creation itself. Lucifer was banished to earth along with his fallen angels. Ever since that day, they have waged war on God's creation, which is you, mankind. In the book of Enoch, it talks about the fallen angels' great sin. They made a blood pact that they were going to mate with God's creation. When they mated with God's creation, they created something called the Nephilim. Who's heard of the Nephilim? The Nephilim were a hybrid of fallen angel human which roamed the earth long ago. God brought forward the great flood to cleanse the earth and get rid of this abomination, but they were not all destroyed. Ever since that day, they went on to be the Illuminati, the bloodline families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. These people are the descendants of Lucifer and his fallen angels. That is how far back this war goes. They control history, they control education, they control everything. The reason we don't know the truth about the planet and we don't know what the pyramids were for, who built them, is because they hold all the knowledge. They hold everything and they hide it all from us. They basically control the narrative so you don't question it. It's time to wake up. And it's time to fight back. The Vatican has 54 miles of secret archives underground. 54 miles!
of secret archives with ancient artifacts, advanced technology, stuff that they don't want you to know, anti-gravity, travelling in space. It's all real. NASA is a fake, it's a fraud, it's all bullshit. It's all CGI shite. And people watch it and think it's real, it's not. And it's about time we fight back, people. Now I'm just going to tell you about some subjects that I've researched and why it's important you view my research and spread it with the world. So I basically specialise on very serious topics. Who's heard of Pizzagate? Thank God Pizzagate is real. As an investigative journalist, I can prove it's real. I've tried going to the press. I've tried going to the papers, they will not listen. It started with John Podesta's emails talking about pizza and hot dogs and pasta, which also led, he was talking in coded language, people. As Kerry's told us, and must respect this lady for speaking up, the highest commodity is not gold, it's not drugs, it's not weapons, it's children. They satanically, ritually abuse children all over the world. Kerry's right. They've got children underground bases. There's children under the ground right now, probably in this city. All owned and all controlled by the secret societies, and they are scared of the people waking up, because if there's one thing they fear most, it's the power of the people! Some noise, come on! Pizzagate is real, I can prove it. I'm going to tell you a bit more about it. I'll tell you where you can download it, view my work and share it with the world. They've just took down my YouTube channel, okay? So you can find me on Library, LBRY, it's a platform like YouTube. My name is Sean Speaks, S-E-A-N Speaks, okay? I'm also on Instagram, Sean Speaks 77. Okay, Pizzagate. A hacker called Big Fish found child porn on the Comet Pizza servers. Bearing in mind people like Obama, Hillary Clinton, the Podestas, all these people are associated with Comet Pizza. They sexually portray children in pizza, okay? A hacker found child porn which was connected on a blockchain. Think of it like a secret dark web network where basically it was connected to 9 servers all around the world, London, Berlin and Washington DC. They've basically created a secret internet, a secret SERPnet, a dark web platform where they can buy and sell children and do it discreetly. And all these politicians are part of it! All of them, they're all part of it. There's one big massive club, and it's a pedo club that we're not part of. And the reason why you're seeing all the mayors and all the people in the cities locking the citizens down is because they're all being bribed. You don't get to that place in power unless they've got you by the balls. If they try and speak out, they'll say, remember when you did that to that child 20 years ago? If you don't lock down the city, that's going public. And that is what they're doing. That is what is happening. They're too afraid because they know they did bad things in the past. You don't get anywhere in the elite unless they've got you by the balls, like I said, and this is what is happening. So, Pizzagate is real. Go to the library, LBRY, Sean Speaks, watch my videos, download my PDFs, they're all in the description. Right, next subject. Who's heard of 5G? Right, I became aware of 5G before this COVID nonsense was out, okay? Because I heard a lot of people saying, is it dangerous, is it not? Well, I'm an investigative journalist, so I looked into it. Now, 5G is not telecommunication. Don't let anybody tell you 5G is telecommunication. 5G is microwave military weaponry. It's a weapon! It is a weapon. There's 3 main things it's capable of. 1, data transfer. Very good for fast communications. That's going to be the foundation for the Internet of Things, okay? They want to turn limitless humans into controllable nodes on a synthetic network, which is transhumanism. So the 5G network is one option of it, which is the data transfer. That's what they're using to sell it to the people as the next step in telecommunications. It's not. It works using microwaves. Microwaves work in radar. When you send a microwave to the sky, it bounces back and it calibrates on a computer the image, so like it tells you what's there. They're 3D mapping the entire world, all the smart cities. They know exactly what's in your house. They can see anything from the tiniest bit of detail, and they want to map you. And does anyone have a guess how they want to include you on this digital map? The vaccine! There is multiple agendas at play here, people. As I say, this war goes back hundreds, if not thousands of years, and this has all been planned well in advance. They want to contaminate you with that vaccine, because inside the vaccine is nanotechnology, hydrogel, something called Lucifer rays. It lights you up when they scan the environment, you ping up, and you've always seen the videos of those people in Wuhan dropping dead. They were all given the vaccine first. use the 5G to drop them down. This is their plan, mass genocide. And it is all being disguised under the context of a fake virus. And the police need to realise you were first in line for the vaccine. All of the police in the country, you are first in line. Speak in your numbers and fight back. You know we are all being lied to, and you have a duty to serve the people. We're not here for the good of our health, we're here for humanity, and that includes you. Come on guys, come on, make some noise. Well done guys, well done. This is what is happening guys, it's the Great Awakening, okay? Bit more about 5G. Basically, it's radiation poisoning. Guess what? The symptoms of COVID-19 are exactly the same as the symptoms of radiation poisoning. What they're doing is they're turning the frequency up, they're making everyone get the flu-like symptoms and the pneumonia, and then they're blaming it on a fake virus, and this is why it's never going to go away. When we were in lockdown for March, guess what they did all around the world? Installed 5G while you were all locked in your house, so you couldn't see it. It's a weapon and you must fight back. Download my PDFs, watch my videos, get tuned into the truth and spread the knowledge. This is an information war. We are at war and knowledge is key and knowledge is the truth. It's so beautiful and refreshing to see like-minded people who know what's going on, and now it's your job to spread the message. Take off the masks! 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 Another subject I was researching was 9/11. Who agrees 9/11 was a lie? 9/11 was the biggest scam in history pulled off before COVID, because what they did, they used it as a pretext to invade all the countries in the Middle East. They blamed it on a man in a small cave in Afghanistan, used the media propaganda to control the narrative so you believe anything. They invaded the Middle East and killed millions of people, and they're still over there to this day. And I was going to join the army, and I've got mass respect for anyone in the forces, but you're fighting a lost cause because you're just there pushing an agenda for the elite. They have a plan, it's called the Greater Israel. You don't really hear about Israel getting spoken about much in the news. You don't really hear about Zionism. What that basically is, a Zionist is someone who believes in the protection and the development of Israel as a #1 priority. Israel used to be Palestine up until 1948. Then something called the Balfour Declaration was declared, and a secret treaty was written up between the Rothschilds and the British government. And basically what that treaty said was, after the First World War, Palestine would be basically given to the new people and be called Israel. And they basically got rid of all the homeland of Palestine, the people who live there. Mass ethnic cleanse on a scale you would not believe. And ever since that day, it's been called Israel. And if you look at all the countries surrounding Israel, Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, they're purposely going after all of the countries to destabilise them so that they can expand their borders into these war-torn regions, into what they call the Greater Israel, and this is their plan. And that has been their plan ever since 9/11, and people are so complicit and they don't understand. They want a new world order, a one world government, and this is another thing about the 5G. They want to get cash out of society. They want to know who you are, what you're buying, when you're buying it, and when you're doing it. They basically want to put a microchip in you, or a biometric ID card. They're trying to roll out the COVID passport, the COVID ID. It's basically a biometric ID, which is you're basically, once you take that, it's the mark of the beast. They know everything about you. This is the same mark of the beast as prophesied in biblical prophecy. That's what it's all about. The cashless society, the smart cities, that's what they want. And what the police are realising is they've pumped a lot of money into robotics. We've seen the films, iRobot, Skynet. They're actually building Skynet, people. This isn't a joke. They put it in films so you think it's not real. They've got mass armies of robots, cybernetics, ready to be rolled out to replace the police. And the police, all they're doing now is enforcing an agenda for a corrupt government. We're supposed to live in a democracy. The government is not answering us. We have revolutions popping up all over the world, and the media is reluctant to report it because they know what is coming. For 1 second, do you not believe that Boris Johnson is running the show? He is a puppet. They're all bribed, they're all bought, just like all of them in power, and you need to spread your knowledge and share your truth. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. Don't stop fighting the good fight. fight, keep fighting, fight for the children, fight for the future, and fight for the human race. You are the resistance!
Hello, Birmingham! It's so good to see you, all your awesome faces, every single one of you, a unique expression of the Creator God. You're wonderful and fearfully made. I'm telling you this because I want to empower you today. You have no idea of the power that's inside every single one of you. The power to rise up, the power to make a change, the power to make a difference is on the inside. It's on the inside. Look, this is nerves, right? Nerves right here. I just said I don't want to come up and speak. But you know what? That's the enemy telling me to walk away and not to use my voice. But I tell you, your voice matters. Your voice can be heard. Your voice can make the difference. I want to hear your voices. Give me a shout. Yes! Freedom! I am so privileged to be here. I'm so proud to be here among such warriors. Warriors in this time, in this moment, and in this hour. You have all been called for such a time as this. And I tell you that because you wouldn't be standing here without a reason and without a purpose. The problem with the world today is that a lot of you are not in the Word of God. The Word of God is a firm foundation. The Word of God is powerful. The Word of God is sharper than any double-edged sword, that it can divide between bone and marrow, soul and spirit, and it can discern the thoughts of men. When you are not in the Word, you have no measure. You have no plumb line. You don't know. You're like a blade of grass that is tossed in the wind. Put your hand up if you're spiritually minded here. Yes! I love it! I'll tell you what, if you don't have spiritual eyes, there's a lot of things going on in the world that will never make sense to you unless you have those spiritual eyes. If you are not in the Word of God, then you have no real point of reference for what is going on. 10 months ago, I woke up to what is going on, the reality around us, when I fell into researching Pizzagate. I thank my friend Nicola up in Leeds, who actually forwarded the information to me to see. And I tell you, I went into a big depression. When you know that hundreds of millions of kids, innocent blood is being shed on a yearly basis, and the satanic ritual abuse, and all the torture, and the sacrifice, and the drinking of blood, the adrenochrome. If you don't know the Word, you don't know why they're doing it. Let me tell you what the Word says. God's Word says, do not eat and do not drink the blood, for the life is in the blood. The word life in Hebrew is nefesh. It means your soul. The soul is in the blood. So these Satanists are drinking the very part of you that is supposed to return to the Most High. Right? You know Satan wanted to be like God. He wanted to usurp God. He wanted people to worship him and not the Creator. This is why the devil is after your soul, because you are made in the image and the likeness of the Most High God, which is what he wanted. He didn't get that, so he's coming after us, and he's coming after your kids. Guys, folks, we're up against witches and warlocks and demonic forces in princes and principalities in high places. And I'm telling
This is getting worse by the day. This whole sham, this whole scam is getting worse and worse. You need to be prayed up. You need to make your mind up. What is it that you're willing to sacrifice? What is it that you're willing to give up? Me? I'm now a jobless freedom fighter. I had to give up my job because I cannot stand for this. I can't tolerate it. I won't let it happen on my watch. Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Are you with me? I tell you, when I saw it, a holy indignation rose up on the inside of me. Wow, a righteous anger rose up on the inside of me. I tell you, you've got to get to that point, friends. You've got to get to that point where it just doesn't matter. You guys, if you're brought into the illusion of this world, I'm telling you, you're going to remain a comfortable Christian sitting on your sofa, right? You're all bought into the illusion, right? For titles, position, career, education, all of that means nothing when you know the truth that this reality we live in is a construct that is designed to restrict you, to dumb you down, to dull you down, to keep you spiritually cut off. When you realize that, you have nothing to lose. I'm telling you, people, you have nothing to fear and everything to lose by not doing anything. By standing by and just observing, you are not participating in the kingdom of God. You're just a bystander, and as you heard earlier, anyone sitting on the fence is on the wrong side. Because there are only two choices here. Good v evil. The fence belongs to Satan. It doesn't belong to God. You need to let love work its way into action. Okay, love is not passive. The reason why I'm here is because I love you. I love all humanity. I love God's creation. You've got to allow that love to work its way out and manifest in the world. A lot of people walking around with their masks, socially distancing, abiding to this 6 rule, 666 nonsense. They are spellbound. You have to understand there is witchcraft, there is rebellion, there are things at play that you can't even comprehend. And you have to understand that. You have to get round it, get your head round it. Because you need to break the spell from these people that are trapped in a cycle of believing this reality. Okay, you need to break the spell of Satan. Yeah. I'll tell you what, friends, COVID-19 has not killed churches. COVID-19 has exposed the dead ones for what they really are. My question to you is, why are you here? It's a deep question. I don't mean just now. You know, we all have entry points to this, whether it is the 5G or the child sex trafficking or, you know, the corruption and the WEF, whatever it is, you've all got an entry point. But I'm asking you deeper. I'm asking you, why are you here? When I was 8 years old, I asked myself that question. I was sat on the bedroom floor, looking at myself in the mirror, looking into my eyes so deeply that I thought my eyes were going to pop out my head. And I asked myself, why am I here? Why am I born in this family? Why am I born in this house, in this country, in this age, in this hour? Why not another family? Why not another country? Well, when I woke up 10 months ago, I realized why I was born. And it is for now. It is for this time. He gave
the biggest questions you could ever ask yourself, because the level of deception, the level of programming that has happened to us, we are nothing like the original design and intention of our Father in heaven. We've got so far away from the word and from truth that we have no reference, we don't know. So, I just end with this question. What is it that you're willing to give up? What is it that you're willing to sacrifice? How far are you willing to go? I'm telling you, they're coming after us. They are coming after the blacks and the Asians first. They have extinction codes within the vaccines that are going to eradicate black people and ethnic minorities. They don't see you as human. They see you as subhuman. So I'm warning you, you need to get real about this. They're going to be rolling out the vaccines come the springtime. You need to build your levels of resistance up in your communities. You need to start getting businesses together. Raise your hand if you own a business. You need to come together to lobby the council. I mean, listen, the word is so powerful, it's the highest form of law in this land. Let me tell you, the maxims in law are superior over any court, over any judge, right? A maxim, for example, is he who creates owns. You get that from Genesis 1. God created the world. He owns the world. That is a maxim. So therefore, your birth certificate, which is a government creation, not created by you, you don't own it, the government owns it. And that birth certificate is the bondage that you've been born into. If you haven't heard this before, you need to go and look up earthunited.global.
Okay, who wants a bit of music then to brighten up this day, yeah? Everybody wants to see brighter days, yeah? And this is what this tune's called, Brighter Days. Let's go. Friends and family, man, stand together.
I just wanna see the light, yeah.
I just wanna see the light.
I just wanna reach the fire, yes. I just wanna reach the fire. People they say I'm fine, but they don't see the dream when it's deep inside. People they say I'm fine, but they don't see the dream when it's trapped inside. I just wanna reach the light, yes. I just wanna reach the light. I just wanna see the fire, yes. I just wanna see the fire.
The stress and the drama of living in the past, too hard, I need relief, yeah, from the lava. Meditate and take my mind away. 1 foot, breathe, live in the now, and hope for a better day and learn from yesterday. Breathe, breathe, anxiety trying to swallow me. How can it be in the dark if I can see a shadow follow me? Help, help, I need help for myself. Wrong choices, bad decisions, wasn't good for my health. Hide away, undercover, moving in stealth. Is it really time for me to acquire spiritual wealth? No sunlight, yeah, there is a lot I haven't done right. I have to dig deep, feel empty with the sun fight. So wrong, so right, French, yeah, so tight. So in here, some of them have already took flight. Ignorance, abundance, some say they don't look right. What's right, he's right, she's black, he's white. Both of a loved one to some of me, hold tight. So dark, so light, what's wrong, what's right? Media's the nation, everybody has an invite. Out of sight, out of mind, now it's time to unwind. Television, now it's time to inside, in mind. In space, connectivity, yes, divine. One of a kind, still the diggers inside, it's ever beside.
I'm sure many people here knew people in January, February that you would have considered intelligent, critical thinking and rational people. Inject a bit of fear into propaganda from the media and what they've done, they crumbled. They put their arms out and said, protect me, save me, I'll do whatever you say. They're the people that might be walking past, the people that are watching this on social media shaking their heads. They're not here fighting for us, but we will fight for them because we know that unity is the only way out. Critical thinking this year has become a crime. Because let's be honest, you've got to be pretty consciously ignorant to not observe that something doesn't add up. Whether you believe there's a virus or whether you believe there's not, something doesn't add up. Just think about it, take away the mask, take away the propaganda every time you leave your house. What evidence do you see of a pandemic? A friend of mine, a comedian, said earlier in the year, for these measures I expect to see a body in the street every time I leave my house. And that's a pretty accurate statement. You walk around and you see nothing. You see no one. And people like us are blamed for this rise in this new second lockdown. But how many people here have been for a test? So how are we responsible for the rise? It's pathetic. Many of you will sign up to keep law and order, to keep the public safe, and to keep criminals off of our streets. Ask yourself, is that what you're being asked to do now? Did you sign up to shut people's businesses down? The ability for them to earn a livelihood, to break into people's houses on Christmas Day and split up their family gatherings? Is that why you signed up? Well, if it's not, I'd take a real evaluation of what you're being asked to do. Because if you signed up to keep criminals off our streets, you're not. You're actually keeping them in power. We're told that the only way out of this is a vaccination. Mandatory and compulsory vaccination of every man, woman and child. I stand here today, I'm 27 years old, I've not had a vaccine in my life. I've got a little boy who's not had a vaccine either. Neither of us ever had any health problems. And I'll tell you this, good luck to whoever wants to come into my house and try and force me and him to have one. Good luck to you. Children are a very emotive subject for me, and I got very emotional listening to those three lads earlier. In fact, I think we should give them another round of applause. There was more bravery in those three young lads than half the men in this country. Children are a very emotive subject for me, as I've said, because they're the adults of tomorrow. And it's our job to protect their future until they're old enough to make their own decisions. And that's what we need to do. We need to ensure that what we're being told is the new normal does not become their new normal. Because we're here today and we know it's not normal. But they're being pushed to wear masks through their formative years, so by the time they reach adult age they think it's normal. And it's just how it is to them. It's up to us, the people who have lived through some level of freedom to today, to ensure that that doesn't happen. And we let them know what the world really was like. And it's not like it's been in the last 6 months, or like it might be in the future. We've got to look at this, and we've got to take some responsibility firstly. That's gone, all right, it's gone. We've got to take some responsibility firstly. I keep being asked, when's this going to end? It ends when we say no. That lad in Liverpool in the gym that everyone's probably seen, that should inspire many people around this country, because all he did was say no. He did nothing more revolutionary than say no, I'm not going to close, I'm not going to listen to you. And now today, as the furlough scheme ends, many businesses face the choice: shut and go and lock down again and lose their business, go bankrupt, or risk it and stay open. Well, I think I stand for all that say if those businesses do that, we will support them. As I've said, I've got a little boy, he's 6 months old, and every morning I wake up next to him, it gives me that hope that we can change this, because I refuse to accept that this new normal is his future. I wouldn't have brought him into the world if I thought it was, and I'll fight to my dying breath to ensure that he doesn't have to live in this. Are we going to accept this, Birmingham? No! There was a great film around when I was a kid called A Bug's Life, and there was a scene in it where the oppressive force the grasshoppers say about the ants who they control. They outnumber us 100 to 1, and when they figure that out, there goes our way of life. Well, when you break down the people really controlling, we outnumber them 10 million to 1. So we're going to take it back! Division is the only way they win. Speaker said earlier on about every single colour and creed is here today because we stand together in unity, because that is the only way out of this. We've never done it before in history, and I think it's about time we did, because we are unstoppable when we stand together. It's time, everybody! Thank you very much. So, I'd like to introduce somebody who's been, I'm sure, a massive inspiration to many people here, and through these years I've had a front row seat, and he's been an incredible inspiration to me. I wouldn't be up here today without him. So I'd like to introduce my dad, David Icke, everybody!
Thank you. Whoa! 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 Can you hear the people sing? So let's cut straight to the a bloody chase, shall we? The SARS-CoV-2 virus pandemic is a monumental, gigantic hoax, a scam, and a fakery. And we must stop cooperating with the fascism being imposed in its name. But you know, we have one thing to thank this virus for, and that is that every day more and more of humanity awakens to the real nature of life on Earth. They are realizing that the world is very different to what they thought they were living in, and the forces controlling it very different to the ones they thought were in power. And what we are seeing is the emergence of a new perception of this human reality, which has been going on under the radar for so long, generation after generation. But today it has walked into the room where we can see it and where we can at last deal with it. The human spirit is stirring across this world. It's stirring from its slumber of the ages. In Britain, in Ireland, in Germany, in Spain and Italy and across Europe, in Canada, in the United States, in Brazil, and in the face of fascism in Australia. And we send our love and our support from this Victoria Square in Birmingham, England, to those who have been living under the jackboot in Victoria, Australia. We are one! Don't lose heart, my friends, because we have only just begun. There is no need to be downhearted despite the darkness of these days. Instead, we should use it to inspire us to even greater determination to sweep it away. Fascists do not impose fascism. There's not enough of them. Fascism is imposed by the population acquiescing to fascism. And what we are seeing is just history repeating, but on a global scale. But here, before us, is the mentality, the self-respect that has always throughout history broken tyranny. The self-respect that says, no, I will not comply and cooperate with my own enslavement. Dark as I say as these days appear, we will eventually, with that mentality, with that backbone, with that self-respect, we will see a way We will remove this tyranny of today, like that mentality has removed every tyranny before it. And we need to just understand those who are new to this. And people will watch this on the internet who are not here today. Well, they will until the fascistic algorithms of Facebook and YouTube seek it out. But people who are new to this need to appreciate three things: the who, the why, and the how. The who. For 30 years I have uncovered a global cult of secret societies and satanic groups that have a long design for the total subjugation of humanity. This cult operates in every country, and that's how this fake pandemic has been pulled off around the world, with country after country imposing exactly the same fascistic impositions and controls. Two, the why. I've been exposing for decades what I call the Hunger Games Society. And from this knowledge, all that's going on today becomes crystal clear and simple to see. The Hunger Games Society is a pyramidal society with a tiny few at the top. The inner core of the cult, we'll call it the 1%. At the bottom of the pyramid is basically the rest of humanity, in servitude, under the control through dependency for survival on the 1% at the top. And between the two, a merciless, not just police state, but military police state, to impose the will of the 1% on the population and to stop the 1% being challenged by the population. Now take that structure and apply it to current events. What is the absolute bottom line of bringing about that mass dependency of the population upon the 1%? It is to destroy the independent livelihoods, businesses and employment of the entire population. And that's why we have had lockdowns, not to protect health, but destroy the independent livelihoods of the population. So I say to businesses and those that work with them as we appear to be facing yet another national lockdown. This is meant, this second one, to destroy those businesses that have hung on this far. If you just succumb to this, they will destroy you. This is a time to say, no, we're not shutting down. We will not obey. And then there is the how. Well, the how on one level is you have this web, which for instance created the World Health Organization, and its recommendations under one roof are then imposed by governments all over the world. So that on one level is the how it is done. But you know the biggest how of all? It is the human population. I hear people say, isn't it amazing how quickly this society has been transformed from what it was in February to what it is now? Well, there's something else that's happened very quickly. Something that has been exactly the same speed as the transformation, and that is the speed of human acquiescence to the impositions of the psychopath. Freedom or fascism is a choice. It's a choice we have the power to make, and we choose freedom! I don't want to hide from people the true nightmare horror that these psychopaths, these pure, diluted expressions of evil want to impose on humanity. The plan has always been to start this in the spring of 2020, to then expand it and make it more extreme through the winter of 2020, 2021, and to keep that going into 2022, to batter the human population into submission, and we must not wilt. The consequences of doing so for the human family are beyond description. And more than anything, I say to people, if you can't summon the courage to stand up for yourself, then my God, let's stand up for the kids, the children, and the young people. If people think it's bad now, what the hell do they think it's going to be for them? And here we are, billions of people standing by while our children and young people's future is stolen and destroyed by a handful at the core of psychopaths. I think I see a way out of this. And so many children and young people have committed suicide in their despair in these months of lockdown and isolation. But I say to those young people, don't let the bastards get you down! Don't take your life, grasp it, live it, and join us in removing the control of the psychopaths so you can have the future you want to see. We don't want to go back to the old normal when the psychopaths controlled from the shadows. We want our new normal, which is the unraveling of the control of these psychopathic networks once and for all. And I offer a simple way to bring an end to this fake pandemic overnight. Stop testing for a virus with a test, not testing for the bloody virus. People, stop getting tested. It's a trap. It's a trap to create false cases for which fascism can then be further justified. A test that the inventor said cannot diagnose infectious disease is being used to diagnose infectious disease. And number two, and I say this to the doctors and the medical profession, stop faking the death certificates. I know the pressures upon you from the hierarchy, but if you fake death certificates to create a situation where people appear to be dying of a virus when they're dying of other causes, you are facilitators of fascism, and you need to face it. Now, here we are in a situation where billions of people, certainly hundreds of millions, are going around wearing a frickin' face nappy, right? I mean, bloody look at it. And this is a symbol of submission and oppression. It's been used like that throughout history, including in the slave trade. But this can also be a symbol of freedom when we, the human population, say, "Be gone with you!" Put oppression in the bin and cry freedom! For the psychopaths to prevail, they have to divide, and rulers, they have no choice. There's not enough of them. And so the antidote to that is for us to come together. Every colour, race, creed, every age, every sexuality, coming together, putting down the fault lines, the irrelevant fault lines of division, coming together as one human family, one heart, one goal, freedom! The start, and we will be there at the end. Thank you, Birmingham. I love
you. Well, what's happening all over the world is enough months have passed now. Early on, lots of people were persuaded there was a deadly virus, so they accepted lockdown. But as the months have passed and their personal experience and the government's narrative bear no resemblance to each other, more and more people all over the world, it's increasing all the time, in country after country after country, are realizing that they are part of a scam. They've been had. And the scam is to transform human society using the excuse of this fake virus. So what they're doing is, in the name of health, they are destroying the world economy, they are destroying people's businesses, and they're destroying people's livelihoods. And this next series of lockdowns that apparently are now planned are designed to finish off so many of the businesses that have hung on for dear life this far. Why? Because when the population has no access to independent employment, they become dependent upon the state. And what they're now starting to suggest more and more loudly and more frequently is something that's been in my books for literally decades. And that's the plan to introduce what they call a guaranteed income. And the guaranteed income will be presented as a way of giving people a survival income, if that, because all the jobs have gone, with AI taking more and more jobs as well. But the idea is that this will not be a benevolent government. Benevolent governments is meant to be worldwide, saying here's some money because we care. It's here's some survival, just if survival income. And there comes with that a few consequences, a few riders. First of all, you have to have the Gates vaccine, which has an horrific and sinister agenda for humanity. And it won't be one either, it'll be one after the other. You will have to do what the government says. If you don't do what the government says, you don't get it. And we have a precursor to that in Australia, where the government's introduced legislation that says that if you're on state benefits, see guaranteed income that's coming, and you don't have your child vaccinated according to a whole list of government recommended vaccinations, then you lose benefits. And this is a precursor of the guaranteed income, total control. But to bring that about, you have to destroy people's independent access to income and to employment. And that's what the lockdowns are all about. That's why Professor Neil Ferguson, owned by Gates, funded by Gates, and Imperial College in London, funded by Gates, owned by Gates, came up with the computer models with the ludicrous projections of deaths, 2.2 million in America and 500,000 in Britain, to justify the lockdown, because the lockdown was essential to this plan to destroy the global economy. And people are starting to get it now. They're starting to realize that they've been lassoed, and we're starting now to gather together and push back against it. And with 7-odd billion people in the world, and at the core of this cult, you could get them in one room. If we don't acquiesce with our own enslavement, we cannot be enslaved. And that is where that we are now going towards this realization that we have to stop acquiescing with our own enslavement. And for me, what businesses should be doing, and people employed by those businesses should be doing with these coming lockdowns, is simply refuse to lock down. I haven't worn a mask. I haven't put any of this toxic shite on my hands. No sanitizer, none of it. And you know, I've spoken in Trafalgar Square twice to 45,000 people, all the people here today. I basically hugged hundreds and hundreds of people, and I somehow have survived the frickin' virus. Because it's a scam, and the world is waking up to it, and we have only just begun.
High five. Thank you very much.
My man, it's going to wear right in chin. There's no point wearing anything at all. Take off your mask, throw it in the bin. Take off your mask, man. There's a fake authority to blue mask that is essential for pure life. The blue mask people there, there's a very pure life. Take it off your faces, you're making yourself stupid. Take off your mask, guys, it doesn't work. The media is lying. The media is the virus. Take off your mask, you're being lied to. Take off your mask. The media is the virus. The government is the virus. Take off your mask. You're scaring your children. Take off your mask. You're being lied to. They're ruining your jobs. They're ruining your business. Take off your mask. You're being lied to. The media is the virus. The government is the virus. Take off your mask. You're being lied to. Take off your mask. The media is the virus. The government is the virus. It's not needed. It's a lie. It's a lie. Lie. not need to go down into lockdown. We do not need to experience the social deprivation that is being enforced against the people. 99.97%. Take what you want from it. This is what I'm finding. This is the stuff that I'm being told is happening. Small scale, but it's asymmetrical the other way now. We're attacking them at non-violent civil disobedience. Civil disobedience. Yeah. Anyway, that was it. Thank you, guys.
Facebook. Oh yeah, Facebook. I'm called Lord Earl. L-O-R-D-E, Lord, E on the end, Lord Earl, E-A-R-L. So Lord with an E on the end and Earl. It's a Joker face. It's got a nice little comment on the Joker face to understand what I'm about. You remember, Batman's one of the 1%. You've been tricked, by the way, guys, you've been tricked. He's an elitist, he's a 1%er. Joker's the real anarchist, the real freedom fighter. And the Joker only exists because Batman exists. Remember, Batman is the dark, SAS, like SAS, but Black Ops. He's the bad guy, he's the one that does the dark stuff. The Joker only has one face. Batman has two. Remember that.
Let's go. Hey, I'm a busy, look man, I jumped off the cliff, man. I'm learning to fly on the way down. My wings are being built with this and this. I'm just surrendering to what is, and I'm being guided to do whatever it is that I do. I'm letting go and I'm going inwards. I'm not going outwards anymore. Inwards is where the key is. It's where the power is, and it's where there's no fear. It's pure light. And when you do that, you release to everything, guys. But it takes courage, and freedom comes at a cost. But are you willing to pay the price for that? Because it might mean that you have to leave this realm, and I'm willing to do that time and time again. And I'll come back and do it 1,000 times, just like I'm going to do now. Okay, peace out, guys.
How did the day go for you?
It's a good day.
Yeah, no arrests, was there?
No arrests.
That's a great thing, isn't it? What about yourself? How did it go for you?
Absolutely fine.
Can I ask you, Walt, did you learn anything today?
It's hard to answer.
Anyway, thank you very much.
No worries.